Welcome to Miss Educator's PBL by Nora Noradine and Rebecca Gray. We will be reviewing the PBL scenario, identifying the problems, and possible solutions. Miss Educator, who is new to facilitating adult learners, has built a course with 15 years of experience. She spent all summer preparing for her 5-week course. After reviewing the PBL scenario, we have identified a number of problems with Miss Educator's approach to teaching her course. The problem we will be analyzing is the type of assessment used. Her assessment methods are primarily based on summative assessment. Her goal is to introduce a new topic each week and test students with one form of assessment, which is true or false or multiple choice. Each of the 5 assessments are worth 20%. By performing this type of assessment, she has eliminated the opportunity to provide constructive feedback to students in order to improve their performance. Bloom taxonomy provides an excellent foundation for lessons as it can be used as a framework in which to deliver appropriate assessment. Miss Educator only demonstrated the remember level with summative assessment, true or false, and multiple choice. What is formative assessment? Formative assessment are seen as an essential component of the learning process, and they allow students to demonstrate what they know at the point in the learning process as they progress through their learning activities. Formative assessment can be low-weighted or have no grade. The purpose of formative assessment is to evaluate students and provide continuing feedback that educators and students can utilize to improve their teaching and learning. Importance of formative assessment: assist students in identifying their strength and shortcoming, provide documentation of the learning process, assist educators in identifying where students are underperforming and addressing issues as soon as possible, useful for developing board research and composite teaching tactics. Examples of formative assessment could be think, pair, shares. Students work together in pair or small groups to answer or solve a question, or an exit ticket slip. Summative assessment. What is summative assessment? Summative assessment is an evaluation that encompasses all evidence up to a certain point in learning. At the end of a term, year, instructional unit, or semester, the summative evaluation compares students' cognitive development and academic achievement to a universal standard. A summative evaluation might serve several purposes that have no barrier on the process. Summative evaluation stands out as they have a high point value, are administered in controlled circumstances, and have substantial objective value. Importance of summative assessment provides a chance for learners to review what they have previously learned and promote the course's overall learning objectives. Scores or grades are recorded into the student's academic records, identifies gaps in learning, and identifies instructional gaps. Examples of summative assessment might be midterm exams, a final paper. Bloom's taxonomy is a framework for learning, teaching, and educational achievement in which each level depends on the one below. It's often portrayed in a form of a pyramid. The belief is that students move up through each level of the pyramid, starting from very basic learning to the deeper knowledge at a level development. Bloom's taxonomy is important because it assists educators in identifying achievable learning goals and developing plans to accomplish them. The Bloom's taxonomy framework allows instructors to continuously assess learning, encouraging students to reflect on their progress. Solutions. We have outlined possible solutions to assist Miss Educator in combining a variety of formative assessments to help the learner truly engage and understand the learning outcomes. Students need to be able to apply knowledge in authentic learning and assessment activities to develop the skills necessary for work in their chosen field. According to Gidinki et al. 2011, effective online formative assessment can create learners focus through formative feedback and increase learners' engagement with beneficial learning experience. It promotes students to develop effective learning strategies. Ongoing assessment activities and interactive formative feedback have been identified as essential features that can overcome challenges to validate in the context of online formative assessment. Possible formative assessment Miss Educator can use could be peer assessment, performance-based assessment, and problem-based assessment. Peer assessment. An article by Double et al. 2019 states that peer assessment allows students to critically engage with an assessed material to compare and contrast performance with their peers and to identify gaps or errors in their own knowledge. Miss Educator will be able to reduce the assessment workload as peer assessment can complement and supplement the instructor's feedback. This is especially helpful in large classes where it may be impossible for instructors to assess their students' work. Peer assessment should be built into the course learning goals with criteria on how it should be completed. It is more effective when students are assessed with a set of criteria such as a rubric. Here's an example of a peer assessment rubric that can be used for an oral presentation. Students can provide positive feedback and constructive criticism. Performance-based assessment is when students participate in performing tasks or activities that are meaningful and engaging to determine their capability and knowledge. Online group discussion can be used with a form of assessment such as a written response, selected response, and performance assessment in order to fully assess students. Miss Educator can assess students based on individual communication debates and topic understanding by incorporating online discussion into regular lesson plans. This is a type of formative assessment that occurs through the learning process to assist the instructor and students in understanding the content provided. An example of online group discussion could be Canvas discussion board. An instructor can post a question and then a debate would start with students responding to that questions and each other. Problem-based learning assessment has a long history of transforming higher education institutions at the course, curriculum, and has shown to enhance student-centered learning and core pedagogical values such as facilitating collaboration, problem-solving skills, and critical thinking. Problem-based learning assessment can be practiced using real-life open-ended problems such as a scenario. Miss Educator can introduce after grouping students and giving the time for the PBL. The outcome can be submitted in multiple ways such as presenting to groups or creating a video. PBL fits based on collaboration, research, and problem solving. Miss Educator can become a source guide and an advisor for the students. Here's an example of a PBL scenario and a rubric that can be used as an assessment method. This table outlines how each type of assessment has passed through each level of the pyramid in Bloom's taxonomy. Please pause to take a look closer at each type of assessment. In conclusion, the traditional method of assessing students, such as multiple choice questions, midterm, and final exams, is commonly used. The disadvantage of this strategy is that it does not give feedback on the learning process to the instructor. As a result, it is important for a well-designed course to have a balance between formative and summative assessment.